All right, welcome in. It's time for Total Bases. It's Tuesday. That means it's $5 Tuesday at WagerTalk. All the handicappers on the site, including the three of us that you see on your screen right now, will have best bets up for just $5. I just locked mine in right before I got on the show. I haven't put the brick up yet, but it will be up there, and it will be $5. We put the basketball season to bed last night. You can see my final chance. I got the Final Four hoodie on. Last chance to wear athletic basketball gear until November, so I got to take advantage of it. Tokyo Brandon dressed phenomenally as well. So let's bring you in first here. How did your night go? And then kick us off on Dodgers Blue Jays, which will be our feature game again today.
Should I go into Dodgers Blue Jays after I recap my night?
Go ahead. Yep.
Okay, sure. I went 3-1 and I lost. The loss was my 5%. I had Miami. I should have known coming off the road, the emotional win over the Yankees coming back home, that was going to be a flat spot. I should have known it. But I went 3-1 with I won the Brewers Dodgers parlayed together for plus 230. So it was a plus day, but unfortunately the people who buy picks bought the 5%. So, but I had a winning day. Into Dodgers and Blue Jays. By the way, everyone, on my Twitter, I already put up the outs recorded projections, and that's going to be relevant for what I'm going to talk about here, the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. Yamamoto, yeah, Dodgers are a minus 150. Man, the Blue Jays are in disarray right now. A lot going on with them. Yes, I realize, everyone, our title says full court press. Sorry about that. We didn't change the thing. It'll get changed though. Possibly.
It should say Total Bases now. I'll play with it. Continue your
okay.
Anyways, go ahead. Yeah.
Sure. Anyways, so Blue Jays are in disarray. Yes, they have Gausman coming up today. And if you look at the OPS of the hitters going against Gausman, man, there are a couple of Dodgers who really lay into Gausman in his career, including Max Muncy. Let's see, Will Smith, Kyle Tucker, a lot of Dodgers who can do some damage on this pitcher. I know Gausman had a great start, but he's one of those guys that starts with a boom and then fizzles out as the season goes on. Yamamoto, great pitcher. He's even better on the road. If you look at his stats last year, he had a 2 ERA on the road and a 3 ERA at home. So I expect more of the same that we saw yesterday. Maybe not such the explosion, but to play the Dodgers, yeah, you could parlay them with something, take them a -1 or something. But man, the Blue Jays are just in disarray right now. Something's got to give, but you would have to have a lot of testicular fortitude to bet the Toronto Blue Jays right now.
TB, you were right. I saw the top banner. It's now Total Bases. We've officially, Bryan Leonard, put the basketball season to bed. So we can put the full court press header away until November. We've got our color scheme up there. The bottom ticker's right. So without further ado, let's bring in Bryan Leonard. How was your start to the week? And also, how are you seeing Dodgers Blue Jays?
Well, first of all, you guys you and Rob Vino did a terrific job on that. So I think a lot of the people that watch your show every day didn't want it to go away. And that's why it stayed up there a little bit. And we had problems putting it on. You guys did a terrific job. And yeah, as for my day, it was very similar to Brandon's, in which it was almost perfect. The problem was my 3% play, which was my biggest play in baseball, was Pittsburgh. And I believe I also used that here as my part of the parlay. And that was the only one that didn't cash. Everything else cashed. In basketball, I said before the tournament started, Michigan was the best value and Michigan wins it. And I also said yesterday that the line was too high. I thought it was a couple points too high, and we were able to cash the +7 with the underdog. Baseball, I went 3-1, now 10-1 over the last 11 in Major League Baseball. But the one loser, unfortunately, was the 3% on Pittsburgh. Another winning day, but you hate to lose your top play that you put out. Before we get to the Dodgers game, I do want to point out that if you take a look at the park factors on today's games, other than Coors Field, which always is a good hitter's ballpark and the wind is blowing out there, Angel Stadium, slightly 3% more runs in today's game than normal, but every other game is supposed to have less runs. You take a look at, for example, Nationals Park, where I put out a free play every day, free play video. It was that game over. That was a no doubter. Today, a little bit different. The runs are supposed to be 28% less. The home runs 48% less. Very similar to PNC Park in Pittsburgh. So there's a lot of games with lower totals, and for good reasons today. Now, when I take a look at this Dodgers game, you may find a little bit of value in it, and that's because I kind of like the under in this game a little bit. Obviously, Toronto's not hitting the ball really well right now, but if you take a look at the bullpen for the Blue Jays, all of their best guys have not pitched in either the last 3 or 2 days, going all the way from Fluharty, Fisher, Varland, Rogers, Hoffman. None of them have pitched in the last 3 or 4 days. And they got Kirk is still out. Santander obviously out for a long time. But this could be a game that is a sneaky under. And when you take a look at what the Dodgers have done, obviously Yamamoto is a terrific pitcher, but I'm not against Gausman. Gausman is he's the one guy out of this starting rotation that has pitched well today. So, you're looking at this, you go, well, the Dodgers are scoring. I think they just set the record, is it, for the last 3 or 4 games in the last series. They scored so many runs, and then they played well again offensively yesterday. It's tough to hold your nose and bet against this Dodgers offense right now, but you've got a full assortment of decent pitchers going for Toronto. And by the way, Scherzer yesterday, he goes 2 innings and has some problems. I guess it's not anything serious, just some nerve issues or whatever, but that's the last thing that this Toronto Blue Jays team needs. But the bullpen is pretty well set, and they're still missing Yimmy, but overall, there's a reason why it's 7.5 here, and I lean with the under. If I'm playing this game, I'm finding a way to play the under one way or the other.
Yeah, my only play yesterday was the Rockies plus 1.5, so that got there. Great reason to take advantage of the double play package, because if you take advantage of that, then you're getting them all. Tell you what. We're never going to come on and apologize for a winning day. It's hard enough to win as it is. So, if you can scrape out a plus on any day, that's a good day. And if you take advantage of the double play or the all access packages we have here at WagerTalk, then you get all the plays. So you wouldn't have to worry about the one that didn't win. As far as this game is concerned, I'll use the Rockies I feel like the Blue Jays are the example of the Rockies on the other end of the spectrum, where it's like, this team's lost 5 straight games, yet I still don't think I'm getting great value to back the Blue Jays. Like, I would be willing to take a shot with Toronto here, especially against the plus 1.5. If suddenly the market had swung so far in the other direction that I felt like I was getting this great number. But because of where the Blue Jays were sort of rated coming into the season, even 5 losses hasn't completely swung it the other way. Dodgers, Brian, you were saying, their offense is woke up, is awake now after the first week of the season, maybe struggling a little bit. Yesterday, 14 runs on 17 hits. I certainly don't want to step in front of that. So it's a tough one. I think, Brian, I would probably, just because of how the pitching sets up, side with you in the under here, because obviously Yamamoto's a top of the line guy. And if you can get a good outing from Gausman, which he's certainly capable of it, and you get some of the leverage arms for the Jays, you may stay under that number. I think that's a good call. I think that's the way I would go with this one. Brian, I got to stay with you, and then we'll go back to Tokyo Brandon, just because, I want to go to Noah Jones in the chat. And Noah says, Pittsburgh can have all the pitching they want, but if their offense can't put up runs, they'll always be, in his term, I won't say it, but not very good. But I've got to push back on that a little bit, because I think Pittsburgh's lineup's pretty good right now. Obviously, they couldn't hit Marquez yesterday, and we'll go to TV after you to get his opinion on that, because he did kind of point out that Marquez, might do okay yesterday. But I have to push back on that initial comment because I think this Pirates lineup is good. So I wanted to come to you first. You had the Pirates yesterday. Can you go back with Skeens today?
Yeah, let's take a look at this Pirate offense. O'Neal Cruz batting leadoff. He's gotten out to a terrific start. In basically the season's about a week all on so far. He's ranked number 4 out of Major League Baseball in offense the last week. Brandon Lau, he has not gotten off to a great start for Pittsburgh, but we know what he can do. He gives them a terrific bat, especially from a power standpoint. Brian Reynolds is bouncing back. He's 28th so far this season. Ryan O'Hearn is 15th. This is in Major League Baseball in the first week. Now, the bottom of the order hasn't done as well. Ozuna has done nothing. And that is something you have to be concerned about because of his age. But then you've got Nick Gonzalez. He's 106th. We've got Horowitz is 103rd. And then you got Connor Griffin, who's the big star. He's the worst hitter on the team other than Ozuna so far. He's at 327. And Henry Davis is a guy that's got some future with him, a good defensive catcher. So the offense for Pittsburgh, what they've done in the offseason is so much better than what they had last year. So I'll step back on that a little bit. I think this is now getting, keep in mind, this ballpark is a pitcher-friendly ballpark. And you find teams like this, Seattle, Texas now. Texas is strange the way it's gone from a hitter's ballpark to a pitcher's ballpark over the years. But just because teams aren't scoring at home, keep in mind of the ballpark you're playing in. But when I take a look at this game, we're looking at Pittsburgh right now, Skeens against Pivetta. You're about 155 for Skeens and the total 6.5. There's a reason why it's 6.5, and that's because Pivetta is a guy who's a fly ball pitcher. He moved to San Diego, which is a tough place to elevate the baseball. They don't give up a lot of fly balls in San Diego, go for home runs. Same thing here in Pittsburgh. So we get two guys that I really like here in Pivetta and Skeens, but the total is 6.5, and it's tough playing a 6.5 in Major League Baseball to the under. But as I said, if you take a look at the weather situations today, if you're going to play it, today's the day to do it. That would be the way I would look at this, as opposed to picking out Pittsburgh. I don't want to lay this number against the San Diego team with a top 20 pitcher, top 25 pitcher. He's very good. So if I play it, I'm playing the under. Find a way to do that. But yeah, it was my only loser yesterday. The bats didn't show up, and hats off to German Marquez. He pitched great. Now his advanced numbers didn't show it, but the results showed it. So I'm not fully buying in on him yet. I still think it was a bad signing, but he did well and he beat me. Hey, hats off to him. It happens.
TB, I'll bring you in here. You kind of alluded to Marquez maybe having a good start yesterday, and he very much did. Listen, I love this Pirates team. Paul Skeens is a generational talent. Why would I not be on the Pirates here, Tokyo Brandon?
I love the Pirates today. I think I don't want to be a Pirate. That's Jerry Seinfeld. Anyways, I like the Pirates today. Love them, actually. If you look at Pavetta's numbers against these batters, they've clobbered him in 91 at-bats against, 855 OPS. Who's doing the damage? Marcell Ozuna, 1,045 OPS and 33 at-bats. Brandon Lowe, 21 at-bats, 989 OPS. The Pirates have a big chance of putting up some runs here today. And if Nick Pivetta is a very good pitcher, then Paul Skeens is a very, 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 very good pitcher. So the only advantage I see in this for the Padres is the bullpen and the names in their lineup that aren't producing. They do have the better names, obviously. Manny Machado, Tatis. I'm slipping my mind the rookie from last year who's doing really good. Yep. What's his name? I'm forgetting.
Merrill.
Yeah. Jackson Merrill. So they have a lot more names, but the Pirates are playing better. I have them ranked number 9 in hitting right now, and I got the Padres ranked number 17. But that's obviously current form. It doesn't represent actually how much talent. But I think the Pirates, have a really good shot of winning this game behind Skeens. Their bullpen lacking. Padres bullpen much better, but when Skeens is pitching, probably go 7 innings. Yeah, I think Pirates are nothing, but it is tough to lay 160 with this team because just the name Pirates gives you images of losing. So, but I would be Pirates or nothing. Take a -1 and make it a -130 and take them.
I was just pulling that up to see if it got that high. Yeah, it is. You're right, TB. It's definitely taking a little bit of money. You could have got -145 about an hour ago, looking like -155 or -160. That's probably out of my price range. I was, when it was -145, I was pretty much right on that number, which, so I didn't play it. The thing is, like,
right,
you're almost always going to pay a little bit of a premium to back Skeens, but Skeens is worth the premium. And what I just want to point out, from last year to this year, you could almost never bet on Skeens because he was on a bad team. So it's like there was a premium attached to Skeens, but then the team you were backing was not good. There's still a premium attached to Skeens. Everyone knows what a talent he is. But the difference between last year and this year is now his team is worthy. You can back the Pirates because the Pirates are a good team. I guess here's my hot take for maybe for April. The Pirates are a playoff team this year. This team is going to be in the playoffs. You heard it right here.
Wow.
They could make me look very, very stupid, but I'm willing to. I'm willing to take that chance.
They have talent.
This team has that you want to talk about a great trade. Brandon Lau, I think they grabbed Mason Montgomery with him.
Yep.
Mike Burrows, who we'll talk about in a second, is who they gave up. Not a huge deal. They didn't have room in the rotation anyway. I think Jacob Melton's in the minors for the Rays right now. The Pirates are the clubhouse leader in that trade, in my opinion. But also, like Brian said, to get Lau is huge. You call up Connor Griffin is like trading for a monster at the deadline. It's like you just added a monster to your lineup who hasn't even done anything yet, as Brian alluded to yesterday. And then you have Jared Jones down the road. You haven't even had him yet. And they're already playing good ball at 6-4. So there you go. Pirates in the playoffs this year. I'll leave it at that. That's where I think you could bet that like now and have yourself a pretty good bet if you like the futures and whatnot. Go ahead, Brian. Sorry, I saw you nodding.
If you're picking the Pirates to win to make the playoffs, to me, the best they're going to do is third place. They're not better than Milwaukee. They're not better than the Cubs. You're saying that the wild cards are going to come out of the same division. That I could see the West not having a wild card because the Dodgers are so good, but that means the Phillies, the Mets or the Marlins, who we like, and the Mets and the Braves, only one team wins from that division. I like your it's a bold statement. I as much as I like the Pirates, I don't. That's a little bit too much.
David, I haven't bet this yet. I said I'm go, but you know what? Now that you asked, I will as soon as I get off the show and I find the best price out there. One, I don't think that the West will have a wild card team. I'm pretty much willing to. If you can bet that, that's a good bet that the West won't have a wild card team. I know these sites put crazy props up. I think the Padres are another reason I would go Pirates here. I don't like this Padres team at all. D-backs and Giants concerns. Listen, the Cubs, if Cade Horton is out for the season, that's a big problem for the Cubs.
Yeah.
And you said the Brewers. Yeah, the Brewers are the team to beat. The Cubs could get derailed pretty quickly if they lose him for the season, and then Edward Cabrera doesn't fully pan out. That's a team I'm a little bit concerned about right now. So Brian, let's go back to you. Let's talk about that Cubs team. Because we kind of like, I kind of like the Rays yesterday. The Rays got it done. You like the over. The over was easy. That one, 10 runs right there. Couldn't believe that was a 7.5.
Yeah.
Damn.
And again, who's on the mound right now today, Brian? Javier Assad.
Yeah.
He should be in Iowa. He's a AAA guy, great organizational depth guy. But if you get to the point where that's who you're running out every fifth day, they're not going to finish ahead of the Pirates in this division. I'll just say that right now. Rays, Cubs back at the Trop today. How are you seeing this one?
Yeah, you mentioned Assad. he was a guy that was he contributed last year pretty well. But I wouldn't consider him a major league starter. But he's going against Rasmussen, and you're getting the same total basically here at 7.5 is what we saw yesterday. I do like Rasmussen, but he's a 5-inning guy. He usually gets his 5 innings in, then they take him out, which makes it tough if you're looking to him to get a victory and you want to bet him to get the victory. Yes, I like the Tampa Bay side a little bit here, but I don't want to play that 135 that's out there right now because I am not convinced the Tampa Bay bats, as much as they've got a great coach, no doubt about it. And I think the Cubs have a very good coach also. But I don't know if they're going to score enough runs to make this worthwhile. Love Rasmussen, but I want to lay this number. I'm not fully buying into Tampa Bay. I have a different feel on Tampa Bay. I think they're clearly the worst team in that division this year, but it's the best division in baseball. So, what are you going to do? Yes, Red Sox fans, you will recover and you will be a good team this year. Don't freak out. But I like the Cubs overall. I don't know. This game perplexes me, so I don't have much to add to this one.
TB, you've always been a kind of a Drew Rasmussen truther. I feel like you've come on this show and given him out successfully on a number of occasions. So are you going back to the well with the Rays? Are you looking at Rasmussen in any market here?
He is solid. But like Brian said, he's short. I mean, he's not one of those guys that goes 7 innings like a Wheeler or something. But he has pretty bad OPS against these batters, especially against Bregman. And the Cubs are another one of those teams, kind of like the Padres, where they have all the names that it takes, but they're not producing. Eventually, I think they're going to produce. I would maybe think about an over in this game because I don't really trust Rasmussen against this lineup, and I definitely don't trust Assad. You said he should be in Iowa. I think he should be in Mexico. He does not belong in Major League Baseball. And neither bullpen performing very well. Tampa Bay always been known for having a great bullpen, and they do have arms, but right now I got them ranked 20th out of 30, and I got the Cubs ranked 19 out of 30. I would think this will go over. I think the Cubs will break out a little bit and start scoring some runs today.
I can't let my guy Javier Assad take it like that on this show. Listen,
he's from Mexico.
He is a phenomenal organizational piece in the big leagues. He's made 78 appearances in the big leagues, 54 starts. He has a 3.43 ERA, a 2.44 batting average against, which isn't great, a 1.33 whip. What I'm saying is, on a one-off scenario, he'll come out and give you 4 innings or 5 innings of one-run ball. What I'm saying is, if this dude was in your rotation at the big league level for any stretch of time, you are likely not a more than a 500 team, because the reason he doesn't stay at the big league level, that 250 batting average against would probably go up if he wasn't more of a sort of a yo-yo guy. So that's all I was saying about him. I don't really want to bet against him today because I know he can come out. He throws 6 pitches. I know he's kind of crafty in that regard. But I'll go back to, we have in the chat, I'm just going to bring this comment up. He says, as a Cubs fan, I'm unfortunately right there with Trig at the moment. Every Cubs fan that I talked to was basically like, it's Horton, it's Cabrera. If those guys are not frontline guys, we're kind of in trouble this year. And you may have just lost one for the season, and now you're not really hitting. That's the other thing that's concerning. Listen, there's a ton of offensive talent at AAA as well, so they certainly have chances to, Jonathan Long down there. I think it's Johan Ramirez, Kevin Alcantara. Like they have irons in the fire, if you will. Like if one of those guys comes out, breaks out. I mean, obviously PCA, this lineup, but remember they lost Tucker as well in the offseason, and he was, sort of a key piece of that lineup. So sure. I'm out on the Cubs, but I am with Brian. I don't really want to lay the minus 135 on the Rays here in this particular spot. So David, David says Pirates plus 900 to make the playoffs. I'll have to go shop that around again. I'm not putting you off that bet. I think people are still underestimating that team. Someone in the chat says they're a 75-win team. I'll conservatively say they're 81-81. That's my conservative estimate for the Pittsburgh Pirates this year. Brian, I'm coming to you, but if you had something to add there, let me know.
Yeah, they could be an 80-win team. As opposed to like the Red Sox, who everybody's freaking out about also, they have plenty of guys in the minor leagues that they could bring up. They've got a few that should be coming up pretty soon. They've already brought up one of their big guys. So the Red Sox starting pitching staff is in much better shape than the Cubs at this point.
Well, since you brought it up, Brian, the Red Sox have arguably their best. Well, I don't even think it's arguably. They do have their best starter on the mound today in Garrett Crochet. The Brewers have a pretty good one in their own regard in Jacob Mizorowski. So talk to me, Red Sox Brewers. Is this where the Red Sox finally win a game?
You know, it's funny. We did the Toronto LA game as the featured game, but this could easily be the featured game if Boston had a couple more wins. And they've started the season. They're very unlucky if you take a look at the numbers. They deserve a lot better credit than what they've done. But yeah, Crochet, one of the best in the business, one of the top 3 or 4 pitchers in Major League Baseball. He's a lefty. It's not often you're going to get him at home in the 150 range. You see that today is about a 150, and the total is about 7, slightly to the under. Mizorowski is a guy who, other than he came in with some control problems, but other than that, he's been terrific. In fact, he's been very good versus lefties. Let's see what he has done versus lefties so far. This is what he did last year. His strikeout rate 39.5. That's better than any pitcher in any category has done last year, and he's been better so far this year. His walk rate's been the problem. Against lefties, walks 12.3%, but his swing strike rate versus lefty is 18.7. And you take a look at some of the other aces. Christopher Sanchez, 17.9. It's Trevor Rogers, 15.8. He is so good against lefties, and he's facing 5 lefties in this Boston lineup today. I think he's going to have a hell of a day because he tears up lefties, something awful. I like the under in this game. And yes, this line is low. The line is low for a reason, but Boston's not hitting. Milwaukee is very similar to the Dodgers that we talked about earlier. Do you really want to stand in front of this Milwaukee offense with Garrett Crochet on the mound? I could do it. The total on this is 7. I like the under in this game. Find either the first half. Fortunately, I didn't see any 4s out there, so it's 3.5. But if you're going to play it, I would look for a low-scoring game, a big pitchers matchup here between Milwaukee and Boston. And because Boston hasn't been winning, none of their best pitchers have been pitching. Their closer hasn't pitched in 2 days, so they're set up pretty well. Is Milwaukee's bullpen is because they are winning. A lot of those guys have been pitching well, so they might not be able to make the game tonight. But the first half, yes. Full game, probably also. I think it's going to be a low-scoring contest.
Tokyo Brandon, you said it's going to get worse for the Red Sox when they were 1-5. I thought you were crazy, and yet it has because they're now 2-8. Are we? At what point are you jumping back in with the Red Sox, or are you just trying to put them in their grave here with Mizorowski and the Brewers?
By the way, guys, it's $5 Tuesday. Go to any one of our sites, go to wagertalk.com and pick up all of our plays, 4% or less for $5. I have a 4% play out today in Major League Baseball. It's a straight money line. Love it. And it's a game that we haven't talked about yet. Anyways, yeah, Crochet, of all my pitchers listed here, Crochet tops the list today against these Milwaukee batters. He's got a 485 OPS against in 32 at bats, which is a decent sample size. Milwaukee's been crushing the ball better than anyone but the Dodgers, though. That's the problem. But I mean, like Brian said, are you going to step in front of this buzzsaw? Well, with Crochet, yeah. I mean, I put pitchers into like categories, and the elite category, there's only 3 guys there. It's Skubal, Skeens, and Crochet. Sale was there, but he's slipping quickly. That's it. That's the cream of the crop. He's definitely included in the cream of the crop. So, yeah, I think, I don't know, first 5, 3.5 in Major League Baseball is a really tough bet to make. even a guy like Crochet, even we saw Paul Skeens in his first start, just barfed on the mound. It can happen. So I don't know. Definitely under would be in play. But the Red Sox to win might also be a decent bet. Both bullpens toiling in mediocrity, and Boston's lineup very mediocre at the moment. We're all talking about Crochet, but Mizorowski's pretty darn good pitcher as well. So, yeah, I would say under or nothing along with Brian, but I haven't bet it.
Yeah, Brian, you mentioned that the Red Sox have some reinforcements from a pitching standpoint down at AAA. They have no bats down there, though. None. No bats at the AAA level for the Red Sox right now. So if they don't start hitting, they're going to need to like go out and find someone to do it because, but I'm sure they will. I can't see the Red Sox playing this poorly. You gotta remember too, it's April 7th. It feels like baseball's been going on for a while right now. 10 games of a 162 game season. Very small sample.
Oh, by the way, Adam, let me cut in
Yes.
real quick. I didn't say they're not going to get better. I said they peaked at 1-5.
So far, you're right, TB. So far, you're right. I mean, hey, I thought they would bounce back this past week, and they didn't. So again, I need to. They're a team right now that I need to see something from before I'm willing to put a cent on the Boston Red Sox. Bryan Leonard, I'm going to come to you. Do you have a pick to give us for your parlay? And if we haven't talked about it, let's talk about that game. You have the floor.
I do. With the Red Sox, they've won 2 games. They should have won 3.4. Still not good, but they're still underperforming. Let's go back to a game in which I believe that Tokyo Brandon had some interest in yesterday, and I think we all kind of liked it. I'll go back to Cincinnati and Miami here. Andrew Abbott, the lefty, going against Alcantara. If you look, by the way, the line on this game is about anywhere 135, 140, whatever. That's the first half, 140, and the totals 4. And in the full game, we're looking at Alcantara 130, 135, and 7. So I like the Miami side here. If you take a look at Andrew Abbott, we talk about this all the time. He is one of these guys that just is confounding when you took a look at his advanced stats compared to his actual stats. He's been able to outperform them every year. And after a while, you got to say, hey, he's found something. He's found something, and which is why this line is basically at 7. But when you go through all the pitchers in Major League Baseball today, all the starters, and you take a look at their chances of getting a victory, there's 3 guys on here. In fact, Sanchez for Philadelphia is only 38%, which is kind of low. But you've got Skubal, 43%. He's a prohibitive favorite on the road. You got Schlittler against the A's. He's over a $2 favorite. Alcantara is a 40% chance of getting the victory, and yet he's in this price range. He's in the 135 area, and I like that situation. You can get him for, I'm seeing as low as 129 out there. Miami's going to bounce back today. If you take a look at the bullpen, Miami has used the bullpen a lot lately, but take a look at the back of the bullpen for the Reds. Emilio Pagan, the closers, pitched 3 of the last 4 days. Tony Santillan, their setup man, pitched 3 of the last 4 days. Ashcraft, the last 2 days he's had off. So he may be able to come in and give him some innings. But Brock Burke pitched the last 2 days. Connor Phillips 2 days ago threw 28 pitches. Pierce Johnson 2 days ago threw 20. So they're going to have to use the back end of or the front end of their bullpen, not the back end, to get that victory today. I like the Miami situation better. It's a team we liked yesterday. They didn't do it. And Miami right now in list price range, to me, is one of the better bets on the board. I like Miami here against Cincinnati.
All right, we'll go. You want to call it minus 135? Is that fair? Or minus 130?
Yeah, it's about right in the middle. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, listen, that was my leg for the show for the parlay. So yeah, they just didn't get there. Bats just were quiet, but I hope they bounce back for us today. Let's over to Tokyo. Brandon, remind the people what you have going on today on $5 Tuesday, and also what is your leg for the parlay today?
Well, on my Twitter, I put my outs projected for pitchers. So take a look at Tokyo _ Brandon. My Twitter is up there. I'm going to put the strikeouts later on around 3 Eastern. Right now at WagerTalk.com, I have a 4% MLB money line play for $5. So go grab that. I also have a plus 140 2-team parlay up for $5 as well. I won my plus 230 yesterday, which was nice. Regarding this game, let me just touch on it real quick. I made a free play video for WagerTalk's YouTube channel earlier. They probably haven't uploaded it yet, but I'll tell you what I said. I totally, fully agree with Brian. I think the only reason Miami didn't win yesterday was because of that come home flat spot. The Reds have a great record. They're 7-3 now, but they're 7-3, ranking 25th in Major League Baseball in offense. So it means it's a little fugazi, this record of theirs. I think it's a little smoke and mirrors. I mean, I don't think they're a terrible team, but I don't think they're a 7-3 team either. So I think Miami bounces back as well. Beware, though, both of these pitchers have really good history against the batters they're facing today. So it could be another under similar to yesterday. I think the only reason Miami didn't score yesterday, though, is because they were coming home after beating the Yankees on the road. It should be more like a 3-2 kind of game. I think the Reds will put up their typical 2 runs, and I think Miami will put up 3.
And so sorry about that. So your play for the parlay?
Oh, my play for the parlay is a game we haven't covered.
Yeah,
give me
ahead.
10 seconds. Schlittler at home. Are you kidding me? I don't think he's going to lose this one. Give me the Yankees on the money line for my parlay leg. I made that nice, short and sweet.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I know I don't. There's not much to me. I see Savali on the other side. I'm kind of with you. Like, I kind of looked at it, TB. I got to be honest. I kind of went over that one quickly because I knew the value was not going to be there for the Yankees, and I knew there was not a chance that I would take the A's with Savali in Yankee Stadium. And I kind of pulled it up, and like 220 is actually probably light. Probably should be more. They probably should be a bigger favorite.
Oh,
I don't know if Brian, if you have any thoughts on that, but I think the Yankees
should be 280. Should be 280. I mean, the bullpen discrepancy as well. Schlittler is 2-0 with a 0 ERA. He's not going to keep a 0 ERA, but he's pitching lights out right now. I think he'll continue.
Kurtz looked like he was waking up yesterday, and he's a laid off guy. He's the offense of that team. He's the guy you want to back. So yeah, in obviously the short right field there, but yeah, I don't play a lot of big favorites like that, but if I was looking to play one today, that would be the one I'd be on also.
I'm kind of with you, TB. I'm closer to minus 250 there. Not enough for me to play something like that, but 30 cents on the number is still relevant. At least if you're like for me, it's got to be like if it was I had minus 120, I made it minus 150. I like it's an auto play. Once it gets over minus $2, I need a little bit more. But yeah, I cannot argue with you on that. All right. I am going to go. I'm going to go. We haven't talked an early game yet. So I'll let's do this one. Let's go around the horn on this one. And then I'll decide if I want to throw this in the parlay or not based on what you guys say. So TB, I'm going to go back to you. Then we'll quickly go to Brian. Diamondbacks, Mets, Arizona look good over the weekend. I think they've kind of looked better than I thought they would, but they do play well at home, and they're, I think they're comfortable at home. Now they got to go all the way to Citi Field against a Mets team that I think, it's in the process of waking up, but even at 6-4, like I think the Mets, if there was going to be a team that challenges the Dodgers this year for, which let me just phrase that. I don't think anyone's really challenging them in the National League, but if we're playing for second, I'm kind of putting the Mets as second right now. I know some people like the Phillies, and that's fine. I'm pro Mets over Phillies. I'm leaning their way here, so I'll give you a chance to talk me off Mets Diamondbacks, Citi Field this afternoon.
I will try to talk you off it because I like the Diamondbacks here. I like Gallen's numbers against the Mets. Mets are without Soto. Mets are kind of reeling as well. The team we were talking about before that's reeling, Blue Jays. Mets are in a similar situation, maybe not quite as much of a quagmire, but I think the Mets are reeling a little. And New York teams, to me, I think is a disadvantage to play at home when you're reeling. So you don't get the crowd support, you get the boos, and you get the hell out of here bum chants from the crowd more than you do, say, in Cleveland. So I think it's actually a detriment to play in New York when you're on a losing streak. I like Gallen against these batters. I don't back Gallen very often, and I don't back the Diamondbacks with that horrible bullpen very often. But I think Gallen will go 7, which will mitigate the amount of time that horrible bullpen goes in, and they're rested, so they get to use their best arms. I like the Diamondbacks.
Yeah,
well, the Mets they're not losing. They've just won 3 straight out in San Francisco. And Brian, I'll throw this over to you. The Mets, I feel like, are slow starters. They're just like notorious slow starters. At the last couple of years, they've had, guys that have just like Soto got off to a slow start last year. And even with him out, like, I still think there's enough for this team to win games. So I kind of like them winning the final 3 games of that Giants series. As Tokyo Brandon said, they did come in cold to that series, but they rattle off 3 straight wins. I just don't know that I see the D-backs going on the road and winning many games with this bullpen. So I'll throw it to you, Mets D-backs. Is it 2 versus 1 here?
It is 2 versus 1. I'm with Tokyo Brandon on this one. Freddie Peralta, if you look at his numbers from last year, he's far better against righties than he is against lefties. He'll be facing 5 lefties in this lineup. Last year versus lefties, he had a 10.7 walk rate. But take a look at his ball rate, which is another thing you want to take a look at just because you get the strikeouts. He had 39.5% balls last year against lefties. That is really bad. Liberatore had 40.2. But he's changed his entire pitching repertoire this year. Zach Gallen, don't like him, but the guy's proved me wrong in 2 straight starts. I think the value is on Arizona. It's not going to make my card probably, but I don't want to lay this number with the Mets. And Soto's gone. And you talked about getting off to slow starts. They have the Mets have a lot of, let's just say, southern United States players. A lot of guys come from warm climates, and they come up in spring training. Everything's fine. But then they get into the regular season. We see it every year with Lindor. Even when he was back with Cleveland, he struggles in the first month of the season. Now I'm reading a lot of articles out of New York saying, hey, he's got to really come out and play now that Soto's not going to be there. You can't turn around what you've done in the past for your entire career just because another guy's not there. Yeah, I have concerns about the Mets right now.
Yeah, I'm not going to. One thing I definitely won't argue with is it's not. I think it's a fair price. Like I don't think it's crazy value on the Diamondbacks here. And again, I think you have to, really look at the D-backs roster and their pitching and then ask yourself, is this the team that I want to be backing on the road a ton this year? Because I think they will likely, you talk about 5-5, I think is as good as you could have asked for Arizona to this point in the season. You have to ask yourself if you want them on the road. Go ahead, TB.
Just give me 10 seconds right here. I'm going to give out one of my $5 plays. Arizona, first 5 innings, plus 0.5 runs is minus 120. I put that out as a $5 play for 2%. So there's a free play, guys. I think it's a good value. You eliminate the bullpen. Gallen has dominated these guys. Peralta has a 900 OPS against these batters. I think it's a good bet.
See, I think Zach Gallen kind of sucks still. And I like, that's the thing. I kind of think he's cool.
I don't like him.
We'll see.
I don't like him.
And the other thing, and again, I'm not using this game in the parlay, but we will finish the discussion on it because you guys did make my decision. I had 2 in mind, and I'm going to go with the other one, which you've already talked about.
He's going to go against us
Peralta,
out of spite.
well, no, I'm just saying, like Freddie Peralta, he had a couple bad starts at the beginning of last year, and then he wiped everyone out for like 2 months. And, he had the bad start the first time around. Last time out in St. Louis, 5 1/3 of 1-run balls, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks. Like, I don't know. I would push back on saying that Gallen is a better option than Freddie Peralta. You can maybe say they're even.
Well, he's
We're
not
saying that.
But Peralta, and I said this before, he's gotten off to a good start for the Mets. He's down pitching for a new team. He's in a new environment, especially in New York. I don't know. I don't like to back guys that get traded into, especially a high profile city like New York City.
He's a better pitcher than Gallen. I'm not saying that he's not, but against the matchup today, I like Gallen better.
Yeah, again, it's not, I'm not going to say it's not my, I honestly picked that game to talk about a day game, but I am somewhat anti D-backs when they leave the desert this year. I think, you know what, TB, to first 5 is probably not the worst way to look at them, because I think Arizona over the course of 9 innings has more of a chance to lose than if you isolate the first 5. So that's probably a better way to look at Arizona getting the plus half a run, and then you just have to survive 5 right there to get the money as long as it's tied. So it was a good discussion. Again, I will pivot, and I'm going to use the Pirates here. That's who I will use in the parlay for the third leg. It's -155. It's not something that I can play at that price for clients, but -155 in the parlay is.
Take Pirates +1.5. It's probably like
I wouldn't do it because I have no interest in laying a -1 with the Pirates at home in what could be a lower scoring game.
Take Pirates +1.5.
It would be astronomical odds. No, I'm going to leave the money line. I think they win. I don't not want them to win. I think they're going to win here. I just think again, it goes back to my theory with baseball. If you are not totally factoring in the number to your bet, you will lose long term. There's no that is like non-negotiable. MLB, if you are betting prices that are like, if you're just like, well, this team's going to win, so I don't give a shit, I'll bet it. I'm sorry, you will lose long term. You
will.
And the Pirates at -155 are just not something that I would bet like for anything of significance, like straight bet, whatever at that number. But since we're putting a 3-teamer in, we're putting a 3-team parlay in where we're going to get plus odds anyway. I like that bet. I like Skeens. I think they bounced back from yesterday. And whoever in the chat, I do. Listen, you can dig this show up. We can clip it. I think this is an 81 win team minimum. I think they have a great chance to win more games than they lose this year. And a big reason for that is going to be the guy on the mound tonight, Paul Skeens. Bryan Leonard said top 25. I still think he's probably top 10 or 15. He's probably going to be in the mix for the NFL. Yeah. Did you? Maybe you said
15.
He's a top 2 or 3 pitcher. I was
okay. I wanted to make sure that. All right. Good. I must have misheard that earlier. Yeah, I was going to say he's going to be in the mix for the NL side.
That's like Logan Gilbert or something, Brian Wu or something. Come on.
I know. Listen, one shining moment was played at midnight last night, and then we went out for a beverage or two. So this was it was a very late Monday for your.
So Adam's drunk, so we'll forgive him for that.
But yeah, I don't think I'm wrong being high on the Pirates. I just don't. And here today, G Hurt says loves the Pirates today. G Hurt, I'm with you. I do as well. So we have reached the end of the show. Remember, $5 Tuesday. All 3 guys you see on the panel have a play up for $5. Mine will be a 4% play. That'll be up. It's already locked in, but the brick will be up after the show. And we've got the double play package. So anyone you see on the screen right here, a great 2-for-1 special. And then you get all the plays. So then if you're on Tokyo Brandon yesterday, you go 3-1. Bryan Leonard, you get all the plays as well. That's the best way to do it. Today's parlay, we got off to a good start with one last week. Now we need to hit one to get back in the green on these. Bryan Leonard's going Marlins. 3 sides, all favorites. So just very straightforward. Brian's going Marlins -135. I'm going to go Pirates -155. Tokyo Brandon, Yankees -220. Marlins, Pirates, Yankees. That's the parlay. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern for more total bases. We'll see you guys then.